I wanted to sit in this chair because it doesn't hurt as bad as sitting on the floor, and then all my lighting looks like patooey. My lips are sticky, I don't like my lighting, this isn't going well. Hey friends, it's Jordan and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be telling you all of the books that I've read in January. January has statistically been a pretty slow reading month for me. I tend to have a little problem getting into the groove of the new year, and I typically don't read very much, but this month was an exception to which I read even less than normal, and I blame that mostly on Disney Plus. Like, there was a lot of Star Wars rewatching that happened, and then I binged the entirety of Fast and the Furious. So there wasn't a whole lot of reading that happened. Let's go ahead and get into the two books that I did read in January. So the first book that I read in January, and also the first book of 2020 for me, was Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. This was also the House Salt Book Club pick of the month for January. A bunch of my really good friends, and then we did a live show discussion on it. I'll go ahead and link the live show down below if you want to go back and listen to all of our thoughts and hear us interact about it. I think it was a really fun time. I think everybody else had a really fun time. It's just fun to hang out with your friends and talk about books. And I will also link the Twitter as well as the Instagram down below for the book club if you want to join along with us. We're kicking off the year with Sorcery of Thorns, which I did not enjoy, and I think I rated it the lowest out of the entirety of the group, which everybody found to be very shocking because I don't tend to be a super critical reader, but I am finding that I am much more critical with my young adult fantasy than I have been in the past. I just know what I like and I know what I want, and if a book doesn't deliver on the things that I want, then I'm not gonna like it. Like, I need action, I need adventure, I need romance, I need good romance. I need characters that I can really invest in, that are really fleshed out. I need a well-developed cast of characters. I like the group dynamic really much more in fantasy than really anything else. Like, I really need that found family or familial dynamic in my young adult fantasy. And this book just fell short in every regard. We didn't really have a very well fleshed out character dynamic, system, group, whatever. The romance was lackluster, the plot was lackluster, there wasn't enough action and adventure, this book was entirely too long, and I just really was very let down by it, especially because it is a novel following a girl who is at a library training to be like a protector of the library. These libraries hold these really rare magical books that come to life and can turn into these beastly creatures, and they have personalities and they have different appearances depending on what kind of book it is. And that was the most beautiful, entertaining part of the whole story. In the process of her training to be a librarian, not her boss, I guess technically her boss, but the woman who is above her in the chain of command gets attacked and murdered, and she goes out on a revenge quest of sorts to find her murderer and to bring them to justice. And there's a whole lot of other things that happen, like 20 extra plot points in here that we did not need, and that really slowed down the pace of the story for me. I just wasn't a fan. We talk about it way more in depth in the live show, so I will leave that down below as I said, but I ended up giving this a 2.5 out of 5 stars. I don't think I will be reading from Margaret Rogerson again. Really wasn't impressed, and I really didn't have a fun time reading it. I will say though, I listened to the last hour of it on audiobook, and I really enjoyed the audiobook, and I think had I listened to the whole thing on audio, I might have enjoyed it a little bit more. I really liked the narrator, and I really liked the way that she voiced the characters and brought personality to them, and I think that really could have helped me become invested in the story, and I wish I would have done that from the beginning, but I didn't, and thus the 2.5 star rating is where we stand. The only other book that I read in January, the whole 2 books, was Twice in a Blue Moon by Christina Lauren. This is their most recent publication, I think. In this novel, we follow 2 kids who meet on a trip to London. They're both there with their respective grandparents, and they're traveling London and go on vacation. They happen to run into each other. They're both from America. They're both about the same-ish age. However, our main female character, Tate, has a huge secret, has never told anybody about it. And while they're in London, she does share this secret, her identity, with Sam, and finds out that she might have placed her trust in the wrong person. And then 14 years later, she is now a very successful, well-renowned actress. actress, and she runs into Sam, unbeknownst to her, on a film set for a movie that she is really excited to be a part of. I really enjoyed this. I know a lot of people didn't particularly like this one from Christina Lauren, but it has a lot of things that I really like. I love second chance romances. I love like misunderstanding that happens that pulls people away. I know it's a trope that a lot of people really don't get down with, but I just really do, and I don't know why I enjoy it so much, but I really do, and it was just fun, and I thought it was lighthearted and touching at the same time. I really liked the chemistry between Tate and Sam. I liked their relationship. I really liked just everything about it. I had a really fun time reading it. It's Christina Lauren. I don't dislike anything that I read for them, or I haven't, at least as of yet, and I've read pretty much their entire collection. So I just found this to be fun, and it was really what I needed in January because I was having such a hard time with my other reading experience. And I listened to this on audiobook, and I thought the narrator did a fantastic job, and I really enjoyed it, and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Like, I really had no qualms with it. And that is it. Those are the only 2 books that I read in January. I know, I was really successful. I really started the year off with a bang. I would love to know what you guys read in the month of January. Please tell me in the comments down below. I would love to chat about it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye.